Hi there, it's Donna from Taffy Crafting. I've got a fold card today. I'm loving that, and when it's actually sat on a shelf, which you can't see that, that's kind of what it will look like. So it will sit like that, and then you can see that we've got a sentiment going on in there. The card that I'm going to show you won't have a sentiment on the front. I think you could write something on the back, but this one I made in response to a colour challenge. So I used Smoky Slate card, Pool Party, this DSP that's got Pool Party in it, and then some cardstock in Pool Party, and then I've stamped in Smoky Slate, and I've used soft seafoam for these butterflies because they were the three colours that we were challenged to use, and so I wanted to have a go at this. Now I saw this design on Pinterest, and the post that I saw, it wasn't actually giving credit to anybody, so there are loads of these, loads of this style of cards. I don't know who originally came up with it, but there are just so many different things that you can do. So I think this is a very pretty feminine card. I don't like to stick labels on things like that, but I'm going to make something that is quite different. But what it does is it gives you all the instructions on how to make it. All you need to do is decorate it. That literally is it. So in the one that I'm going to show you now, no sentiment here, and there's going to be double layering on here. So let's get started. Now, if this is the first time you've come across me, hello, and I try and stick with relatively simple designs. So if you like that type of thing, or you've just started out in card making and paper crafting, come and subscribe, and I promise I've got lots of very different projects for you to have a go at. So that's my main concept of what I'm doing. I've got everything cut out first just because you don't always want to see me cutting up and scoring and things like that. I will do all the scoring on screen now. So I've got all of my layers cut out, so I'm just going to put them over there, and I will go through the measurements as we go along, and I will also have them on my blog, and there is a link to that in the description bar. So let me just try and keep all of that together so I don't lose it later. So we first start off with your main colour card. Now it depends who you're making this for as to what you choose. I wanted to go for something that was quite neutral, wouldn't necessarily be for a male or female. And this is Bermuda Bay cardstock, and this measures 11 inches by 5 inches. And I'm going to get out the beast that is the scorer, the scoreboard, and my scoring tool has just momentarily disappeared, and there it is. I am a messy crafter. I think actually most people are messy crafters. I think there's very few people that craft tidily, and I'm going to score that at 2 3/4 and at 5 1/2, like that. Put that to one side, and then you've got another piece of your main colour cardstock, and this measures 11 inches by 1 1/2 inches, and we're going to score that at 5 1/2 and at 8 1/4. Okay, so that's all the scoring we need to do. Actually, so I don't lose, let's put that back. Let's start off with, this is the front of our card. So you're going to fold it in half like that, give it a good crease, or burnish as the technical term is, and then fold this one back. I just tried to fold the other side as well, like that. And let me just show you the mechanics of this. What will happen is that will fit on there. So we're going to fold that like that, and then that side comes round like that. Did you see that? So folded it, and then this back piece, fold that in on itself, and it will sit like that. And really that is the basis of your card, and you can do, you might not want to watch the rest of this video because you can now do whatever you like to that. Decorate it however you like, totally up to you. What I'm going to do is just completely decorate this, and then a sentiment can be put on the back like that. But this is all about the layering. So what I've got, I'm going to do 2 layering. Now for 2 reasons. One, just because. And secondly, because I need to use up my DSP, because I've got a lot of it and I need to get it used up. So I'm doing double layering. So you can't really see what's going on behind there, but it just makes it just a little bit more interesting. So this layer, now I need to get my measurements out. This layer measures 4 7/8 by 2 5/8. Yes, 4 7/8 by 2 5/8. And I've got 2 of those, and I'm going to put them just using glue. I use wet glue because I need to make sure that this gets in place correctly. So that first layer there, on that first section up to that first score line. And we'll put another one next to it. This measures exactly the same. So you need 2 that measure 4 7/8 vertically and 2 5/8 horizontally. Now what you need to do, if you are using DSP that has no direction to it, fab. That's going to make your life a whole lot easier. But if you're using DSP that does have a direction, then watch how you cut it out. So we've got that, and then I've got another piece that measures, and I need to get this right. This measures across horizontally 5 3/8, and this is 4 7/8. So I've made sure that all of those pink splodges are going in the same direction. Not that you can see it. You actually can't see it when you put it all together. But if we're being precise, the layer that goes on top of it, then you will have to make sure that that is going the right way. And then what you've got is just some nice borders going around it. So let's just do our horizontal pieces, our long strip that goes along the bottom while we're here. Let's deal with everything at the same time. So I've got that piece there that measures, let me get this right, that measures 5 3/8 by 1 3/8. This DSP is called Follow Your Art, and it's ideal. It's an ideal DSP for those that like crafting. So the other papers that are in there are like ribbons and bows. There's some scissors. There's what else? There's one with oh, this is the one I'm using that's got lots of buttons on it. There's a description. There's a link to it in my blog, so you can have a look at the different designs in there. So that smaller piece measures. It measures 2 5/8 by 1 3/8. And this one, I didn't follow my instructions and it's a little bit short, but never mind. Now, let's put that to one side. Let's bring this back. So I've got those 3 panels. So I've got this layer here. That layer measures 5 1/4 by 4 3/4. So let's get that on. I think what you can do with this card, your options are infinite. You can do absolutely anything with this. Just choose your DSP first, I would. Choose your DSP that matches the person who's going to receive it. Then pick out one of the colours that's in here or something that contrasts it, and then use that as your main card colour. I can't think and talk at the same time. and then build it up from there. The possibilities are absolutely endless. So this measures 2.5 by 4 3/4, and you've got 2 of those. And that's going to go on top of that first layer. So I think that first layer that's there just breaks it up a bit. You can't see any detail on it, but it's an abstract piece of DSP. And a bit of glue oozing out there. But I think it just breaks it up a little bit. So let's put that last one on there. Get that on there like that. Now sometimes what I've seen people do is put their sentiment in there. So if that's sat on there, I've seen some people put a sentiment there, I've seen some people put a sentiment here, I've seen people put a sentiment there. Do you know, it's up to you where you put your sentiment. Now I've got a piece of card here. This is Pool Party, and I didn't use this because it was from an A4 sheet, and this is what I have left from that. I just literally have scraps. That's all I've got left from that A4 piece. So I've just found a scrap of, this is Pool Party, and it goes quite nicely with that. You could probably get away with using mint macaron, maybe pear pizzazz, anything that's green-ish. So 2 inches by 2 inches, and then I'm using this stamp from one of my favourite stamp sets, Delightful Day, because I absolutely love that. So that's going on there, and I'm just going to stamp that with some black ink, which I've put down somewhere. Or I might stamp it with grey, because we've got grey. Oh, right, let's have a look. This might be too light, and I might have to just dash off downstairs and get basic grey. But let's, yeah, I think I'm going to have to do that. Oh, I do love experimenting on camera. Not ideal. Let's just see what this looks like. I think it's going to be too light. And I might need to just trot downstairs. Oh, I don't think so. But, no, I'm going to keep that. But, really, it should have been, should have another go. Now, when I'm off camera, I always get these spot on. It's because I can't get my head right over the top. If I put my head right over the top, you would see some shocking wreaths. But we can't go to the hairdressers, so I'm going to put up with it. It's that smoky slate I've used for that. Now, before I put that on there, I want to see what this looks like so I can get the placement right. And we're going to put it there. It's going to go in the middle, like that. Well, not in the middle. It's going to go in the middle of there, but just slightly upwards. So I'm just going to leave that there and get this on. Oh, should we use dimensionals? Let's just change our minds as we're going along. And that's what crafting is. You start crafting, you start making something, you think, oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do something else. And then sometimes you think, I wish I did what I originally thought. And then other times you think, yeah, that was a good call. So let's put that there, like that. And I've used dimensionals because we can get away with it being raised slightly. It will fit in the envelope like that, absolutely fine. Then again, it will sit in there like that. Now, let's get our, no, there's something else I was going to do with this. So that's what our band at the bottom is going to look like. And I had 3 more pieces in Bermuda Bay, and I'm going to have this one here, and then I'm going to have these here. Now, I can't remember what I measured these at. So this one measures 4 inches by 1 inch. And that's going to sit in there. And then these are 1 3/8 by 1, both of those. Let's get another ink block, and I'm using a multitude of stamp sets today. I'm using Under My Umbrella. This is lovely. This comes with its own punch. It's brilliant. I love a punch. And I'm going to use this. It's your day. And we'll do this in Smoky Slate again, because I think it might... Well, no, we won't. We'll do it in black because this is darker. And I'm going to stamp It's Your Day twice on there. It's just going to run along the middle. Where's my black? And hopefully this will work and everything will stamp first time. It could be straighter, but if I was crafting and not filming, it would be straighter. And I put one on each of these as well. Got that one straight. And I'm going to attach each of those with a dimensional as well. So let's start with this one. I love these mini dimensionals. I just love the way that they make parts of your project stand up and give it some dimension. Stops it looking so flat. So let's get that central in there. Like that, could be better. But you get the gist. Let's try and make a better job of that one. And then the very last thing that we're going to do is get this now mounted onto our card. So this bit, just this bit here of the bottom band is going to stick to this bit. I don't want it to stick to that bit. So kind of mark here where that got to. You can measure it if you want. I'll just stick glue to that bit. Make sure you got it the right way up. And line it up with the edge and line that bottom edge up as well. I might have been better off putting my sentiments on afterwards. Never mind, it's done now. And then flick that bit over and then put some glue on that as well. Keep that flat. Make sure it lines up with the edge of the card, and so the side edge and the bottom edge. And there you have it, a really colourful card. Got a nice sentiment on there. We've got something running along the bottom. We're using lots of different colours, something really pretty, really colourful, would suit male or female, but definitely somebody who likes crafting. So I hope you like that. I hope it inspires you to give it a go and make it. As I said, all of the details will be on my blog, so just head on to that. Look at in the description bar will be the link to that blog with all of the measurements. So thank you for joining me, and I'll be back again soon with another crafting project. Bye bye.